This is a full story. Kitten wishes you all a happy and enjoyable story. There was an anonymous question online. Is it really possible for someone to fall out of love while still loving? A reply from someone named Hali was pinned to the top. He left 2 big science questions blank on the SAT for me, changed his college preferences for me, delivered food to support me through graduate school. But when he was humiliated, I hid instead of standing up for him. He didn't change, but love couldn't be eaten, and I had already started thinking about breaking up. I stared at the sleeping girl beside me, a chill running through my entire body. My girlfriend's online name was also Hali. Delivery workers should behave like delivery workers. You think you're still that promising student the principal talked about. You're delaying my brother's research. Can you afford the consequences? Peter's voice was full of arrogance, as if abusing borrowed power. I looked down, brushed some crumbs off my shoulder. Cheeseburger. Haley liked it too. I'd make it for dinner tonight. When I looked up again, my face was calm. Sir, your delivery is here. If you don't believe my explanation, feel free to call the restaurant yourself. I wasn't late. There had just been too many orders at the shop. It was peak hour, and I still had other deliveries to make. I didn't have time to argue. Wait, Peter, apologized to Rocky. It was Tony, wearing gold-rimmed glasses, a research coat, his deep voice laced with lazy amusement. He looked at me with a half-smile. Our outstanding Rocky, even as a delivery guy, is still different from the rest. How could you be so rude? He adjusted his glasses, his tone flippant, his lab coat making him look like a small man inflated by borrowed glory. Right, the only son of a tycoon, a failing student in college, who suddenly published 2 SC-level papers at graduation, carried a flashy research project, and entered the nation's top university for a PhD. He looked like the typical reformed genius protagonist in a novel. If only he hadn't used my research. On my memory, Rocky, don't mind us. I just never expected you to actually deliver food. Haha. Peter laughed loudly, and passers-by turned their heads. Tony scanned the surroundings, took out a napkin from his bag, put on a gentle expression, and walked toward me. He wiped some spilled sauce from my jacket, leaned in close to my ear, and said softly, "Once you've made a decision, there's no turning back. If you're a delivery guy, stay a delivery guy. I don't want to see you at Harvard again. Understand?" I stared at him plainly. A flicker of irritation passed through his eyes. Was I really that threatening to him? Even as a delivery worker, he still felt uneasy. In a crowd of top minds, he must not be doing well. If I had any pride left, I might have told him, "You don't deserve what you have. Whether I'm here or not won't change your place." But I didn't. At the entrance of the teaching building, a swish of a pink skirt caught my eye. Haley was wearing pink today too. I lowered my eyes and said, "Got it." He patted my shoulder, then walked off with a few classmates. As they passed, I could still hear their chatter. What was that about? He insisted on getting a good review. These delivery types are always like this. Tony, next time someone gives you trouble, just tell us. Your time should be spent on research, not on these nobodies. Their voices faded. I bit my tongue, swallowed the rising bitterness, grabbed the next delivery, and headed out. Harvard's campus was beautiful. In the autumn, wind rustled through sycamore trees, leaves falling gently. Students walked by in 2s and 3s, books and sketchboards in their arms. This should have been my world. Regret began to creep up again, coiling in my chest, trying to ignite resentment. We always grieve the roads we abandoned, but maybe that grief is just an excuse to cover our present frustrations. My phone buzzed. A message from Haley. "Don't forget lunch today. Skip a couple of deliveries if you need to. Take care of yourself." I smiled into the breeze. No, I had no regrets. The person I chose would never let me down. Her care gave me strength again. I left Harvard, quickening my pace toward the next order. Last time, Haley had her eye on a dress. I wanted to buy it for her as next month's gift. So after making cheeseburgers for dinner, I went out again to take more orders. By the time I got home, it was already 11 p.m. I passed by the living room. The food on the table hadn't been touched. I glanced toward the darkened bedroom, trying to console myself. Maybe she was just tired lately. Maybe she ate out. In the dim light, I sat down, ate the cold leftovers in silence. It was greasy, a bit cloying. Didn't taste like love anymore. Strange. It was the same dish. The bedroom light was off. She must be asleep. I tiptoed into the bathroom, washed off the smell of oil, changed into clean pajamas, and quietly lay on the other side of the bed. In the dark, every sensation felt magnified. I think she turned over, facing away from me. A sharp ache pierced my chest. For a whole week, aside from her daytime messages, every night I returned, to find her already asleep. It felt like we were strangers, sharing the same bed, but not a single word. Maybe I was just overthinking. I scolded myself for being sensitive, but sleep wouldn't come. Moonlight streamed through the window, mixing with city lights, spilling generously across the room. In the quiet of night, the mind tends to wander. I thought about that moment in our senior year, when Haley clutched my arm, her lashes trembling with tears. She looked at me and asked, "Rocky, I can't keep up with you. Between your future and me, which would you choose?" Which did I choose? I chose her. That sweltering July exam hall. I remembered the girl who blushed as she confessed. I didn't want to let her down. So I left 2 big science questions blank. Faced with my parents' disappointment, my teacher's sighs, I felt guilty, but love came with responsibility. Once I chose her, there was no turning back. When it came to choosing majors, she held my hand and said, "Let's apply for bioengineering together. We can go to the same grad school. Let's stay together forever." I looked into her passionate eyes, smiled, and switched from computer science. On nights I couldn't sleep, my mind would wander, imagining wild futures. But Hali was always a part of mine. Still wide awake, I unlocked my phone and stumbled upon a question on Twitter. Is it really possible for someone to fall out of love while still loving? A dim glow shone on my face, a little harsh on the eyes. I squinted trying to swipe past it, but accidentally tapped on the most upvoted reply. He left 2 major questions blank on the SAT for me, changed his college preferences, and delivered food to support me through graduate school. But when he was humiliated, I hid away. He never changed, but his love couldn't be eaten, and I had already started thinking about breaking up. My heart froze for a second. I scrolled upward and saw that the user who posted it was named Hali, and Hali's online username was also Hali. My heart sank into a cellar. My limbs turned cold. I slowly turned around to look at my girlfriend, sleeping with her back to me. Under the night's glow, half of her face lay exposed, peaceful and lovely, exactly the same as when she was 18. But the sharpened brows and the beauty mark under her left eye, under the soft night light, made her face appear more delicate and to me, a little unfamiliar. She wanted to break up with me. How could that be? I instinctively denied it, but every line in her answer described me. We had been together for 8 years, from high school to college, and then I supported her through grad school. We had never thought of separating. At least I hadn't. I felt emotionally betrayed. A nameless fury surged in my chest, burning through every bone. I felt lost, at a loss for what to do. I read her answer again. The screen's light stung my eyes. She said, "My love can't be eaten, can't it?" I looked around our finely decorated apartment, $4,000 in monthly rent, only 20 minutes from Harvard. In her first year of grad school, she cried to me about bad dorm relations. I quit my underpaid yet promising job at the biology lab and started delivering food. I used my first month's pay to rent this apartment. Curtains, tableware, bedsheets were all carefully chosen by me from physical stores. My monthly income averaged $9,000 after rent and her $4,000 living allowance. I had only $1,000 left for food, every outfit she wore, every branded bag she wanted, as long as she told me. I never said no. Now she told me my love couldn't be eaten. Then what had she been eating? Anger, and disbelief boiled my blood. I scrolled through the comments. I support the girl. Love can't feed you. She's a graduate student now. He's just a food delivery guy. They don't match. True love means growing together. She's improving. He's stagnant. They split for good reason. In the adult world, love isn't what matters most. What matters is being a good match. Hali had liked that comment. Being a good match. Someone once said that to me too. It was long ago. In an office with a hardwood desk, a middle-aged man sat in front of me. His features were identical to Tony's, including the contempt hiding behind his eyes. "Rocky, have you really not considered it? If you give up authorship of this research, I'll give you $500,000. Your alcoholic father's mess can't be resolved. Really not tempted. To you, is one research achievement more important than your own father? He might not have treated you well, but you carry his blood. Surely you won't forget that." Faced with a sneering tone, I didn't yield. This result is my ticket to Harvard. Mr. Tony, I can't give it up. It was easy for Tony to get into Harvard, but his father wanted my research to polish his son's resume. I was still young, not yet wise to how cunning businessmen were. Then he said one sentence that made me stop in my tracks. I heard Rocky has a long-time girlfriend, so going to Harvard alone means giving her up. He tapped the desk with his fingers, raising a brow. It's only natural. Girlfriends aren't as important as a future. What matters between people is being a good match. Isn't that right, Miss Hali? Before I could react, Hali came in from the side door. Her eyes were red, and she looked at me with both grievance and blame. "Some people, with just a few words, can make me surrender," she said with teary eyes. "Rocky, don't worry about me. I can't get in anyway. Don't give up your future for me." She said it with her mouth, but her eyes begged otherwise. We had been together so long that I could read her thoughts from a glance or a gesture. "I'm not trying to ruin anyone's future," the man added. "I can even offer one Harvard slot for your girlfriend. Think about it." I looked at Hali. In that moment, I knew I would spend my whole life sacrificing for love. In the end, that research achievement got us $500,000, resolved my father's mess, and secured Hali a place at Harvard. It was worth it. When I left the office, Hali ran into my arms crying, I'm sorry. I dragged you down again. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have to give up your work. Rocky, why are you always so good to me?" She sobbed uncontrollably. I wiped her tears, suppressed the unease in my heart, and smiled. "You're my girlfriend. If I'm not good to you, then to whom? Besides, it doesn't matter who gets to study. We'll still be together." To ease her guilt, I even said, "It's okay. Tony and I have a complicated relationship. relationship. We shouldn't be in the same school anyway. It's better this way. She held my waist tightly and promised me word for word. Rocky, I love you. I will never leave you. In this life, so some promises only last as long as the moment they're spoken. The screen dimmed from inactivity. Night deepened. So did the chill in my heart. Moonlight silently withdrew from the room, leaving only darkness. A heavy fatigue and helplessness took over. The fire of anger had died out, leaving ashes in my veins. I was too tired, even to confront her. I turned to the other side of the bed and faced away. In the dark, I sent Tony a message, then turned off the screen, waiting for morning. The next day, Haley got up early, dressed herself neatly. When she came out of the bathroom, there was no breakfast on the table. As I lay in bed, just waking, I watched her frown and walked toward the bedroom. Rocky, why are you up so late today? You didn't even make breakfast. What am I going to eat? She pouted playfully, with a hint of scolding, but she didn't ask if I was feeling unwell or why I'd slept in. Instead, she only asked why breakfast wasn't ready. Just one night, and the rosy lens of love shattered. The real her came into view. I couldn't believe the real her cared so little. Did falling out of love mean there wasn't even a trace of feeling left? I don't feel well today. I don't want to get up. I lay back down, hoping to draw some concern with this childish act. Behind me, she said, "Are you taking the day off? Rocky, if you do, won't your pay be cut this month?" The tone was sweet, but the meaning was clear. She had always been so calculated. Why hadn't I noticed before? I was just a fool who spilled his heart at the cost of a few sweet words. She enjoyed the convenience I gave her, while looking down on me in secret. That post said, "When he was humiliated, I hid." That figure at the teaching building yesterday, that swish of skirt, that was her, wasn't it? Strangely, once I realized she didn't really love me, none of it bothered me anymore. Seeing my silence, Haley smiled again. "But Rocky's health is most important. I'll head to class now. Tonight I'll make porridge for you." When I didn't reply, her face turned cold. Maybe she thought I was sulking. She picked up her books and left. After Haley left, I received a message from Tony. "Let's catch up." He sent his location as well. I took a day off, chose a proper outfit from the wardrobe, and went to meet him at the Western-style restaurant. Tony studied me with interest, his gold-rimmed glasses failing to hide the malice in his eyes. "Rocky, I really admire you. Even now, you don't resent me, and you still want to help me." His eyes sparkled, as if trying to see through me. "There's nothing to resent. It was a deal I chose myself, so I won't look back, and I don't regret it." I looked at him, calm and composed. "No regrets about when my father invited you into T Group, and you refused. Back then I was young and arrogant. I thought exchanging my future for money was degrading, so I clenched my teeth and said no. I was immature then. Besides, if it weren't for your father using that $500,000 to resolve the mess my dad caused, I might not have been able to keep studying. We're all adults now. There's no need to blame the world like a child, or fight against power and money. Alright then, as long as you figured it out. It's just a bit boring. I thought you'd hate me for crushing your literary pride, then spend your life delivering food, and end up in your 50s, picking up bottles I throw away after work." Haha. He laughed loudly. I didn't respond, because everything he said was true. All roads lead to Rome, but he was born there. My pride and so-called dignity never brought me any benefit. But if I lower my head, I can grab the only opportunity one have. I can join T Group for research and submit all results to the company. But in return, I want to pursue further studies in the UK. He didn't even look up, idly flipping his fork through the dish. "No problem. That's pocket change. If you really produce results, my dad will be thrilled. Deal. Pleasure working with you." He finally looked up, frowning slightly. "Curious, what made you change your mind?" I pressed my lips together. "I don't want to deliver food forever." He snorted and nodded. "Fair enough." Then he added, "Oh right, what about your girlfriend? Didn't you give her your Harvard slot before? Now you want to go abroad and ditch her?" My smile faltered, faintly stiffening. "We're about to break up." His eyes lit up with gossip. "She cheated, didn't she?" When I didn't answer, he continued, "Come on man, you're a genius at research, but your taste in women is awful. You gave her your spot, supported her grad studies, and didn't see she's just a fake Gudetwushis. Her tricks are pathetic. Say a few sweet words, and you'd give her anything. I bet that's not even all you gave her." I thought of that post again, and answered blandly, "Right, besides the grad school slot." I left 2 questions blank on my SAT for her, changed my college application, delivered food to support her studies, but she stopped liking me. His eyes widened. Then he burst into laughter. "Haha, you're that sad sap, huh? She doesn't even like you. I doubt she ever did. If she truly loved you, how could she let you sacrifice so much? You got sold, and even helped count the money." I looked at him seriously. He was wrong. Between my future and my lover, I chose her, and I don't regret it. Tony raised an eyebrow, then opened his phone, scrolling to show me a chat, still not regretting it. The conversation stretched all the way back to her first grad semester. Haley's daily greetings, morning and night. Even if there was no reply, I found her annoying even at school. She's simple, clingy, not even attractive enough to win over my dad, but somehow she had you wrapped around her finger, even knowing she didn't love me. Those chat logs still ignited something in me, except on payday. She never messaged me at all. I closed my eyes, the wetness in them slowly faded. I don't regret it. I just chose the wrong person. Tony leaned forward, eyes gleaming, a sly grin on his face. You help me, I help you. Since she's just a phony, and you're about to break up anyway, I'll mess with her a bit. You won't mind, right? I frowned. He continued, think of it as revenge. If she's decent, she won't fall for it. To show sincerity, Tony gave me $50,000 in research funds. I took off my delivery uniform, put on a clean outfit, and became a researcher at T Group. I rented a new apartment, told Haley I'd lost my license for running a red light, and I'd be working in a factory for now. She didn't ask anything. Maybe she didn't care anymore. I picked up the knowledge I had given up and reclaimed the future I had set aside. I buried myself in books. By the end of the month, I noticed she hadn't asked me for money. I checked her moments, found nothing. Then I logged into my alternate account, and the truth was clear. A stream of luxury items. Forget autumn's first milk tea. Nothing beats the season's first designer bag. The picture showed a purse I'd never seen before. Her first time in a Ferrari. Tony's car. Wanna be your only one. The caption came with a photo. Fingers intertwined. I recognized the angle. Tony had sent me the same picture. A woman who came at Tony's snap of a finger. What exactly did I love about her? Materialistic fake. A cheater. What did I love about her? I loved her when she wasn't like this. The sound of cicadas brought me back to that summer. Rocky, what are you thinking about? My mom made your favorite cola chicken wings today. Let's go home together later. Also, can you help me with the equations from class? Haley and I were neighbors. Grew up together. When I was 6, my mother left after years of abuse from my father, and I had to live on my own. Back then, Haley knocked on my door. She had a chubby, adorable face, called me big brother all the time, dragged me to her house for meals every day. If it weren't for her, I might have starved in that cold room. I thought we'd never be apart. In middle and high school, we naturally ended up together. Between my future and her, I always chose her. I just didn't realize the person she chose was no longer me. My screen lit up. Tony had sent a video. In a dimly lit bar, Haley wore a tight black dress, dancing on a pole, hair loose, bright red lipstick. Cheers surrounded her, eyes filled with desire. Tony messaged. She knows the drink was spiked, but she still insisted on drinking. Are you coming? If not, your ex is about to be picked up by some stranger. Not my problem. My emotions were tangled, but I still went. She might not be my lover anymore, but her family once helped me. I couldn't stand by. The bar stank of alcohol. When I arrived, Haley was straddling Tony's lap, about to lean in. Tony saw me, a mischievous grin spreading across his face. If you like me, what does Rocky matter? He asked, holding her back with one hand. I froze. I wanted to know too. Him. What does he matter? She repeated, like she was asking herself. He's nothing. I'm a Harvard grad student. He's just a food delivery guy. What relationship could we even have? I lowered my eyes, smiling bitterly. I already knew, didn't I? But I heard he gave up a lot for you. Even his future. You really ditched him for me. Tony asked, on my behalf. Now tied by mutual interests, we felt more like allies. Why wouldn't I? He owed me. If I hadn't taken him to my house when we were kids, he would have starved. He owes me, and he should repay me with his future. Her voice was drunk, but full of certainty. So everything I had done was just paying off a debt in her eyes. You hear that, Rocky? Tony shoved her onto the couch. She blinked, finally seeing me. Rocky, you're here too. She even managed a smile, like a snake. She wrapped around Tony's arm. Rocky, this is my new boyfriend. Isn't he better than you? She was clearly drunk, spouting her true thoughts. You're just a delivery guy. Tony's rich, powerful, good-looking. He has a future. You wouldn't stop me from choosing someone better, would you? She spoke so righteously, without the slightest guilt. After shoving her away in disgust, Tony got up and walked to my side. Look at that trash, he sneered. Come on, brother, let's go get something decent to eat. He patted my shoulder and left. Haley tried to chase after him, but in her heels she stumbled right into my arms. Tony, Tony, she called, drunk, flushed, and reeking of alcohol. She clung to me while calling another man's name. In that moment, I realized there was no longer a trace of affection left in me for her. Why is it you again, Rocky? This is all your fault. Tony doesn't like me because of you. Don't you know you reek of delivery orders? Why are you everywhere? I understand, I replied calmly. I'll leave you alone soon. There was no emotion left in me. I answered her in my mind, then helped her home. I packed the last of my belongings from the apartment. She had made her words very clear. There was no point in figuring out when exactly she had stopped loving me. When she woke up, she clearly remembered what happened. So when I brought up breaking up, she agreed quickly. Don't blame me, Rocky. We're just not suitable for each other. I can't imagine attending a future reunion with my Harvard classmates and introducing my husband as a delivery boy. Take care, Rocky. I didn't respond. I returned fully to my research. Our project had made great progress. Soon I would be able to deliver results to T Corporation. We never deleted each other. Her social media was still full of designer dresses. Nothing seemed to have changed. Tony would occasionally inform me. After you two broke up, she lost your financial support. I didn't want her either. She tried chasing several rich guys, but everyone knows her reputation. They play along because of her education, but they're not serious. Your little childhood sweetheart is kind of dumb. I ignored him, not even sparing him a glance. If you keep talking, you'll slow my progress. That'll cost your company money. Okay, I'll shut up and go. As long as you don't go soft. laughed. Everyone has the right to choose their life. What she wants is her own business. What I gave her was enough to end everything between us. On Tony's graduation day, our research succeeded, and the technology was implemented in a product that performed well in the market. The T family hosted a banquet in celebration. Tony invited me. As a gesture of goodwill to secure me, I was granted 5 of the market share for the research. I wore a suit to the banquet. I wasn't late. Halfway through, I saw Hali at the entrance, with her arm around a man. Her hair was curled in waves. She wore a loca gown and had a bright smile. But the moment she saw me, her expression froze. I hadn't planned to approach her, but unexpectedly, she brought the man over to me. "Rocky, what are you doing in a place like this?" She frowned, looking me over with visible disdain. "You know him?" The man beside her asked. "Of course I do. Jack, this is my ex, the delivery boy I told you about. He's probably here chasing after me again." My gaze stayed calm. People around us began whispering. "Really? His suit doesn't look cheap at all." Hali sneered. "Probably rented or borrowed." "Rocky, what right do you have to be here?" I couldn't understand why she seemed to hate me so much. Then I thought of Tony. Maybe she blamed her failure with him on me. "Someone like you shouldn't even be here. Get out while you still have a shred of dignity." She held her boyfriend's arm, smirking with pride. "My boyfriend is the second son of the J family. Rocky, if you beg me, maybe I'll have him say a few kind words for you. Who knows, you might not have to deliver food anymore." The crowd burst into laughter. "A delivery guy, dressed up like that and thinks he belongs here. Who says he's a delivery guy? Even if he is, so what?" A voice rang out behind me. Before Hali could speak again. "Who's spreading lies about my T Corporation researcher?" "Rocky's my brother. Even if he's a delivery guy, I brought him here. Got a problem with that?" It was Tony. He clapped a hand on my shoulder, stood beside me with a rebellious grin, and raised his voice. "Who just insulted our lead researcher? Come on, speak up." His eyes locked onto Hali's boyfriend. Hali stared at me stunned. Her date slapped her across the face. "You stupid woman, always spouting nonsense. Apologize right now." He bowed to me repeatedly. "I'm so sorry, Mr. Rocky. This new girlfriend doesn't know the rules. Forgive us." The J family couldn't afford to offend Tony. He dragged Hali toward me, urging her to apologize. "No need." I turned to Tony. "It's about to begin. Your father will be arriving soon." "Right. I nearly forgot." He rushed back to the center of the banquet, in a suit and gold-rimmed glasses. He looked the perfect picture of wealth and power. I heard his father was pleased with the research results. I gave him my full attention, spending not a second more on Hali. She was no longer someone worthy of my time or care. As the banquet ended and I was preparing to leave, Hali suddenly grabbed my arm. With teary eyes, she looked pitiful. "Rocky, why didn't you tell me you were working with Tony? You've helped him so much this time. He must have rewarded you well. Let's get back together, okay? Now I know you're the one most suited for me." I gently pulled my sleeve from her grip. "But you're no longer suitable for me." I looked into her eyes, returning her past words to her one by one. "Between people, what matters is being well matched, right? I'm about to go abroad for further study. Miss Hali, do you really think you're a match for me?" She stood frozen, eyes quickly brimming with tears. "You must regret giving up those 2 questions for me. You regret being with me, don't you? You never thought I deserved you." I walked a few steps forward. Her words still reached me, but I turned back, calmly replying, "I never regret any decision I made. But now, you're no longer worth it. The mountains are high. The roads are long. In this life, we are unlikely to meet again." Hali's perspective extra chapter. I met someone who loved me deeply, very early in life. His name was Rocky. He was the smartest person I had ever known. When I was young, my mom said, "Hali, help Rocky more. That child has no one, yet he still gets top grades. He clearly has a future." She was right. Just because I took him to my house for meals, he willingly gave up 2 questions on the SAT for me. At the time, I was moved. I really loved him. We left our hometown together for university, leaning on each other. In our sophomore year, I scratched a classmate's expensive bag during a fight. She said it was worth $200,000. She laughed at me, saying I'd never afford one in my life. A fire lit inside me, but I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't even dare tell my mom. Rocky found out. I still don't know how, but he somehow got the money and threw it in her face. That moment felt amazing. Since then, no one dared mock me again. That's when I realized money was power. Later, I found out he sold a research paper for me. I felt a bit guilty, but also greedy. If he kept writing, we could get rich. No one would ever look down on us again. He sold another one because I begged. Life got easier, but in our final year, T Corporation approached me. It was my first time in their building. I had no words for how luxurious it felt. It was a world I never imagined reaching. I overheard their conversations behind a door, and right there, I made my decision. It was just one research result. If Rocky sold it, he could fix everything, and even get a grad school spot. I cried as usual. He gave in, but what disappointed me was that he became a delivery boy. I was studying at Harvard, and my boyfriend was delivering food. One day, he came in uniform to drop something off. My roommate saw him and laughed. "That's your boyfriend." Her words stung. He embarrassed me. That's when I began to lose feelings. Tony was different. He was in the lab with me every day. If only he liked me. Eventually, he did. I dumped Rocky without hesitation. Now looking back, I was too young. I didn't understand that every gift from fate comes with a price tag. Tony was only playing. After Rocky left, I lost financial support and had to move back to the dorm. I finally realized how important money really was. I couldn't go back to being poor, so I searched for rich boyfriends. I was young, beautiful, and educated. I had value. But at the T Corporation banquet, I saw Rocky again. He looked confident and elegant. I was clinging to a man I didn't like. Faking a smile, I felt furious. If I had known he'd be like this, I would never have left him. I humiliated myself in front of him. Still, I tried one last time, but he rejected me. I had received his love too easily. I had taken it for granted. Even then, I dared ask, Rocky, do you regret giving up those SAT questions for me? Do you regret being with me? Did you always think I didn't deserve you? I will never forget his reply. I never regret my decisions. But now, you are no longer worth it. Only then did I realize what I had lost. After graduation, I dated many men. None wanted to marry me. I refused to return to my hometown. I floated from man to man. Then I heard Rocky was doing well abroad. He married a foreign woman and settled overseas. For a moment, I was stunned. If only I hadn't been so greedy. If I had waited a little longer, maybe that life would have been mine. I'll never know. But I do know I'll never meet someone who loves me like he did again. The end. If you like Kitten's story, please follow and like it. Updated every morning at 9 a.m.